In today's video, we're talking about how to promote a free webinar. Now, the point of having a webinar is to generate leads, nurture those leads, and convert those leads. But the first step is getting them there. So let's talk about that today. First, I'm going to explain the different strategies that you can use to promote your webinar. Then we're going to get into the science behind an intriguing headline. Then I'll tell you about the top 3 things you need to check off of your to-do list before you schedule and promote your webinar. Let's first start with the different strategies that you can use to promote your webinar. Now, of course, when you're promoting on social media, there's both organic and paid strategies. On your social media, you can be promoting it on any social media platform where you have an audience. Maybe you're on Facebook, you're doing some Facebook Lives, or you have some posts with the headline or some of the hooks, the 3 secrets, the things that you're going to be sharing on that webinar, and give them a reason to sign up. Hey, I'm going to be sharing this, or here's an incentive that you'll get when you attend this webinar live. Give them the clear call to action where they can click, where they can go to register, and make sure that it's very clear the benefit that they're going to get, why they should come, and of course the details, where and when it's happening. You can do the same on any other social media platform. You can do this on your Instagram stories. That's a really fun one for me. I do a lot of Instagram stories. So when I'm documenting my day or sharing behind the scenes of a webinar that I'm preparing for, and hey, why don't you come along? Just swipe up or click the link in my bio and join us. It's happening this day at this time. Now that's social media that might be organic. Let's talk about paid traffic strategies. You can use Facebook ads, Instagram ads, wherever you want to advertise, Google ads, YouTube ads. And so with this, you are paying to play. You're paying to put this content, this advertisement in front of people. The great thing about paid ads is you can be more specific in your targeting. You might want to very specifically send this ad to males between the age of 35 to 55 because maybe that's the demographic that you want to sell to. The great thing about ads is you can be so specific that you can even be location specific, interest specific, so that you are casting the widest and most accurate net of people to come to your webinar. The next method is probably the warmest. It's your email marketing. If you have an email list of people who have signed up that they want to hear updates from you, they expect an email newsletter or content updates. If you send out emails telling them, hey, I have this webinar coming up, it's about this topic, here's what you're going to get from it, here's how I'm going to incentivize you to show up live, they're likely to come because they've already signed up that they want to be nurtured by you. So give them a reason, and again, be very clear about when it's happening, what's happening, and why they should attend. So now that I've said that, how many of these platforms are you utilizing right now to promote your webinar? Let me know in the comments below, and if there's any that I missed, share with me any that you might be using too. Now, the first step is promoting your webinar to get them to come register, but if that registration page with that headline and that hook isn't enticing, they're gonna bounce right off of that page. And there is a science behind creating an intriguing headline. To have a headline that's something like 5 ways to improve your business, that isn't intriguing enough. You want to have a headline that has a very clear hook, a very clear promise. You want to give a benefit and maybe even a specific time frame without the presence of this inconvenience or pain point. I'm going to give you an example of a client that I worked with. She was in an MLM space, multi-level marketing, network marketing, and she created one called How I Made 6 Figures in 6 Months Without Cold Calling, Hard Selling, or Even Leaving My House. See how that's much different than how to grow your business or 5 different ways to grow your business. It might be something that maybe I would click on to read an article, but I don't know if I would invest as much of my time. And a webinar is a bigger time commitment. And for them to want to be able to click through, give their email address, it has to really capture their attention. So let me break down this title that I just shared with you, this headline that is really captivating. How I Made 6 Figures. Awesome. That's something that I think a business owner or entrepreneur would want to know. But if it was just that, it might not be intriguing enough. How I Made 6 Figures in 6 months. Great. It gives you this specified time frame of how they got to this result fast. Something you might want to know, but let's spice it up a little bit more. How I Made 6 Figures in 6 months without cold calling, hard selling, or even leaving my house. Those 3 things that we listed are inconveniences or pains that we don't want to have to endure to create this amazing benefit and result. So how can you take your headline and make it intriguing so that people will want to click and register and attend? Now, before we talk about the 3 things to check off your webinar to-do list, make sure that you hit that subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. I'm putting up more content like this every week. Okay, you ready for it? Here's the 3 things to check off your webinar to-do list before you promote your webinar. The first thing is to research what are the best days or time of day to host your webinar. When is your audience most available? And I can't just give you, here's the idea of what would work for you, because your audience might be different than mine. If you're speaking to maybe stay-at-home moms, what's the best time for them? Is it in the morning? Is it during nap time? Is it at night when maybe their partner is home? Look at what might be best for your audience. If I'm speaking to entrepreneurs, is that a good time during the day or in the evening? If you're speaking to people who have jobs, well, if they're at a day job, maybe it needs to be in the evening. So keep in mind who your audience is, what their behaviors are like, and when they might be able to attend your webinar. Number 2 on your to-do list, make sure that you have a list of ways that you're able to incentivize your audience on the webinar. Give them an incentive to show up. Give them an incentive to stay on the webinar, to show up and actually be present and engaging with you. And this might be prizes, it might be giveaways, maybe you have a draw at the end of the webinar. Whatever you do, make sure that those prizes or giveaways, you have to be present at the end to win. Let's say if you're doing a draw, if you call someone's name, they have to be there to win it, or else you'll go to the next name. That's gonna incentivize people to stay on live. And lastly, set your goals. How many registrants do you want? How many people do you want to show up live? What do you hope for your conversion rate at the end of the webinar? When you set those goals, you know the targets that you want to aim for, and then because of those, you can adjust your behavior and your to-do list accordingly. If you have your goal for how many people you want to register, we can create your strategy based on how you're going to promote to get people to that registration page. Then you have a goal for how many people you want to show up live, and that strategy is going to be your nurture strategy and your, whether it's a gamification or incentivizing strategy to make sure that people do show up live. Next, for your conversion goal, how many people are going to sign up for that offer that you're pitching at the end of your webinar? You're going to have to make sure that your script is in place, that you have all the ways to overcome objections, and a way to clearly show the benefit and pitch your offer at the end. Now that you know how to promote a free webinar, imagine being able to use that webinar as part of your infinite cash flow loop. Now, I've actually gone the extra step, and I've created the entire sequence for you to be able to implement what I call the infinite cash flow blueprint. This is the pathway to bring your audience all the way from front end to high ticket, and I'm gonna give you that sequence for free if you click the link in the description below.